We have a huge problem with obedience and being obedient when no one is watching. We started when we was little, right? We had a problem with obedience because at a certain point we wanted to be in control. At a certain point we started having questions. At a certain point we started learning more. And so maybe it didn't make sense what we were being told. If you were brought up in the era that I was brought up in, the 80s, 90s, all of that, that's when I was younger. Um, it was rare that you can even ask questions about what you were being told. Hey, it's me. I'm Marie. I am just here to talk and to gather a community of like-minded people. Um, I take that back. I take that back. I'm not here to gather a community of like-minded people. I am just here to share my thoughts, ideas, things that I learn, things that I learn along my self-discovery journey, things that may help somebody else. I am here to share. If you find it helpful, amazing. Subscribe, like, and share it to somebody else. If you don't, that's cool too. You don't have to be. That's the thing about life and humans is that we all have a choice. You can say you can go. I'm okay with either one. Um, but anyway, we were talking about obedience. So that was what a welcome. What a welcome. Anyway, so when we were younger, um, when I was younger, I can only talk for myself and from what I've seen and experienced. So when I was younger, I was an obedient child until I started getting older and could understand and become very inquisitive. So I wanted to know why. I wanted to know. I couldn't articulate it then, but I needed to know the process behind why the instructions were given to me. What were we doing that for? What were the outcomes that we were trying to accomplish? And in my younger self, it would just be like, why? So it wasn't questioning the authority, it was just questioning the instruction. Like, why do we do that? Why do we do this? And a lot of times that's what our kids are doing. They're not like, why? So our kids do it to us now. They have a lot more room and a lot more awareness and a lot more space to be vocal most of the time with our teaching. I know in the Black community, we're trying. But sometimes after the 18th why, um, it can be a little bit more intense. And we can just start shouting commands instead of instructions. Ooh, a command and an instruction are two different things. Wowzers. So let's go to we're going to get into that. But let's go to the obedience part. And I love a good definition because you can use a word all your life, but you don't really know the true definition behind it. So obedience, compliance with an order, request or law, or submission to another's authority. So, excuse me, y'all. I'm trying to get the dog on top off my tea that I'm making. Jesus is Lord. Anyway, so our submission, we think that as mothers, our children should be submissive, and that that in itself is a word that we don't like, because it has been taken out of connotation. It's been taken out of it's been turned into something super negative. It's been turned into a loss of independence. It's been turned into um, like a hierarchy of humanity when you say submission, because it usually falls into a wife being submissive of her husband or something like that. When you hear the word submission, most of the time, that's where your mind will go. So, submission, the actual definition is the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. So, we have authority over our children, and that is a safety matter. Okay? That is a discipline matter. It is a teaching matter. So we want our children to be obedient to us even when we're not around. So you go to work and you tell your child to wash the dishes when they get home from school. Your expectation is for them to obey the instruction, right? Wash the dishes when you get home from school. So your expectation is to come home and to see the dishes washed, right? That is your expectation, because your child should be in a submissive role to your authority, because you are mom and you are placed in a role. You are given a role that if you are honoring God in that role, you do have authority over your household. Your household includes your children when they are young. This will change as your child grows. I am not 100% sold on gentle parenting. I am not sold at all on corporal punishment. I'm a little bit of I'm in the middle. I was born of the eras of whoopings. I ain't talking about no spankings. I think I only got like 3 in my life, just because I wasn't that child. I was very submissive. I was very much obedient to my parents. And if I wasn't, they didn't know about it as I got older. That's why I know it changes in teenage years. So anyway, y'all, I still haven't got this open because this isn't the right time. I don't want to drink it out and then it opens. Okay. As you will see, y'all, we just doing life as it happens. We're just doing life as it happens. And I've been coughing. So I'm trying to heal that cough. Anyway, so the point is, let's take rewind. Focus back. So that will change the the discipline arenas, and the obedience that your child will have for you will change. And it changes with the respect that your child has for you. And it can change with the communication that you have with your child. So you have all of these things that play factors into obedience, right? With your child as a mom. When we are open in communication with our children, when we have systems in place, I don't care what that looks like. I don't care if you are a whirlwind, free living household. I don't care if you're stricter with plans and calendars and boards and routines and stuff like that. Whatever your system in your house is in place. Okay. If it's working, keep going. If it's not, let's see what we can change to make it better. Okay. So a part of your system should entail, or hopefully entails, obedience. Okay. The first word that our child will probably speak, depending on how you talk to your child, could be mommy, dada, or no. Okay. And this is why, because most of the time when we're talking to our children as babies, we're saying, oh, look at the baby. Say mama, mama, right? And then sometimes if they say daddy, it's just because they can dada. It's a language thing. If they are saying no a lot, it's not that they're being a defiant baby. Is that is the verbiage that they keep hearing, because they are getting into things. They are walking, they're crawling, they're exploring the world around them. So a lot of times they are exploring unsafe things. And so we say, no, 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 no. So at some point, when they talk to you or they're communicating with you, they tend to say, no. So you say, come here, no, right? We get that a lot. And that is why, because that's the communication that we're telling to them. Now, me, I don't talk to babies in a baby talk. I feel that is very important for me. I feel that is very important to start off with communication in which we are speaking whole sentences. I'm not going to sit there and just give them a whole dissertation or a TED talk, but we are going to not do that. Hey, hey, hey. We're not. I think that is so counterproductive to what we can be doing. It's cute. Yes, the baby's cute. Yes, if the baby's name is Lisa, hey Lisa, good morning. So your tone can change, but for me, I feel like the vocabulary should be of that as when you're talking in general. So you are building their communication skills. This is my thought process. This is the way I think. This is the way I process. Okay. So if you don't agree, that's okay. And we can still hang out and we can still be cool. And you can still hang out with me. We can still exchange ideas. Let me know how you do it. That'd be great. And how it's worked for you. I'm always about sharing. I am not the expert. I have 25 years plus of experience dealing with children, working with children, communicating with children, and moms. So this is where I'm coming from, my experience. And the thing is, I haven't just been dealing with my children. So I've been dealing with a whole lot of children from a whole lot of different backgrounds. So I have not become the quote unquote mother mentor because I had 12 kids and now I know all about mothering. I literally have not birthed any kids. And that gives me an advantage because I've still lived with kids. I've still mothered kids, nurtured kids, raised kids, in like I said, lots of backgrounds. Some were unmothered, some were undermothered. Some had amazing moms. And then I just became a part of the community. So anyway, I feel like because I've had that experience, I am not the guru. Like I said, I'm not the guru. I look at tens of thousands of YouTube videos about mothering. I got like 20 mothering books on my shelf. I am involved. It is my assignment. I am assigned to mothers and their children. It may be mothers and that mother's child, or it just may be a mom and not necessarily their child, or their child but not necessarily the mom of the child. It's been like that for 25 plus years. So what I'm saying is, these are my thoughts. If you don't agree, it is okay. You do not have to agree with me. I'm not forcing anything on you. Whatever you feel is right for you and your household is what you should be doing. Is it working? Are you producing or help to produce or raise strong, beautiful, articulate, well-rounded children that can be an asset to your community? If you're doing that, keep doing it. Keep on doing it. If you don't feel like you are, though, it's okay to take a tidbit. My mom used to tell me all the time, eat the meat and spit out the bones. So you may agree with some of the things that we say here, or you may agree with nothing. or you may agree with all the things. Take whatever you need. Okay, that's the moral of that. Okay, so let's get back to obedience. So when your child is saying no, it's not because they're being defiant, it's because that's the first, most of the time, the first sound word that they know, K-N-O-W, that they learn, let's put it that way, that they learned, and that's why. So it's not a disobedient thing. Okay, so let's go back to, as we get older, we ask why. If your child, be honest with yourself. You ain't gotta tell me. You can if you want to share. But be honest with yourself. When you give your child an instruction and they say, why? Do you feel like they're like counteracting your authority? Or how does that make you feel? Are you excited that they are exploring, that they're trying to expand the process of thinking, or that they're trying to understand processes and why we do the things that we do and trying to make it make sense to their brains? For me, I'm the latter. There is a tone that you know, a tone and a look that you know that a child is either bucking up at your authority or like challenging it when they say why. It's the why for me. Why? You see how that changed? Or why? Second one's more inquisitive. The first one, you challenging the authority. They're going to do that too. If we did it, they going to do it. Okay? We did it in our own little way, but they're going to do it as well. Let me just put this in here. The key to motherhood is patience. The key to motherhood is patience. Another key is communication. Another key is understanding. Okay? Patience, communication, and understanding. All right. So when they're asking the why, you say, for example, you may say, please go put your shoes in the room. Go put your shoes in your room. Okay? They left the shoes in the middle of the floor, right at the door. Maybe you're a no shoe household. They took the shoes off and just left them. Basically walked out of the shoes and just left them where they lay. You say, hey, go put your shoes up, please. Or let's get your shoes out of the floor. And they may be like, why? So their why could be like, I don't understand why I'm getting another instruction, because I did what you told me to do, because I learned that we don't wear shoes in the house. They can't articulate that whole thought process. So when they start asking questions, when the questions start coming, the why comes. Most of the time the why comes at taller ages. 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So that's not toddler, that's preschool. But it's coming around those ages. At 3, you get the back why. They just like to talk. Okay? And they know that if they ask why, if you're a talkative parent, then they're going to get a response from you every time. If they are inquisitive and they say, why, mommy? Why do I have to put my shoes in the room? Your response can be, because I said so. Or your response can be, because if you leave them in the middle of the floor, somebody may trip and fall. Or if you leave them in the middle of the floor, you may not remember where you put them when it's time to go to school tomorrow. So in the latter two, the explanation part, they're gaining a sense of understanding about how the world works and how your house systems work as well. Okay? And they're learning obedience with the stronger background, because now you're setting yourself up as not only the authority figure, but the one who is helping them learn. You are now their teacher. You are now explaining to them how things work. You are now helping them understand that there is a reason behind every behavior. There is a reason behind every behavior. There's a reason why your child is being disobedient. Sometimes the reason is because they want attention. Any attention is better than no attention when it comes to children, even if it's negative attention. Negative attention is better than no attention. Sometimes they do things because they want to feel in control. So they don't do what you ask them to do because I'm in control. You don't tell me what to do. In their little minds, this is what's happening. But when you have that conversation as of why we do the things that we do, and for every reason, for every behavior, there's a reason, good or bad, I brought you a prize today because I've been loving the way that you have been. You're getting this today because I am celebrating who you are. I brought you something home because I'm celebrating who you are. I'm so excited about how you're growing, how you're so smart, and how you are taking accountability and responsibility, depending on your child's age, what verbiage you'll use. But even for the good part, you're giving them attention, the attention that they want. I think we weren't talking about attention, but I can't remember where we were. So let's just go. There's a reason, that was where we are. There's a reason for every behavior, good or bad, okay? So sometimes we have to start sometimes we have to stop digging into the behavior so much and really get to the why of what's happening. If your child is not being obedient to you, ask the child why. Why did you do that? Or why didn't you do what you were supposed to do? Even though mommy wasn't here. Just because mommy's not here doesn't mean that the instruction fades away. This is how we operate. This is how our house runs. These are the things that we do, whether I'm here or not. Right? They have to understand that. So when you say, why didn't you finish your homework? Why didn't you turn in your homework? Why did you go and punch your brother? Most of the time you're going to get an I don't know. You're going to get a pause and then an I don't know. Depending on your communication style with your child, you can get an I don't know, and then that will either send you in a rage, or because the simple fact is that I don't know can seem very passive, like they don't care about what they did. If it's something that they weren't being obedient to, I don't know, nonchalant. That's the word I'm looking for. It can be very nonchalant, like, I don't know. Or it can be I don't know because they know that if they really say what they want to say, they're going to get in trouble. And so they kind of keep it. Or they may not be able to articulate what they want to say. The words don't come all the time. Some of us have a hard time. Some of us adults have a hard time trying to say what we mean. We don't have the vocabulary at the time. Sometimes as moms, we have 28 million things going on. So we can't find words. Words are hard. Words are hard sometimes. So we can't find the words and put them together to really articulate how we're feeling. So think of you as an adult with all the lived experience that you have versus an 8-year-old with the very minimal experiences that they have. And some 8-year-olds have a very vast experience in life, a very heavy, very traumatic. But for the most part, and that's a whole nother video for another day, but for the most part, they haven't been through the things that you've been through as an adult. So they can't articulate why they was hiding snacks in their room, they can't articulate right on the spot too. They're already nervous. Their nervous system is already dysregulated because they've gotten in trouble. And depending on if you're a yeller, if you're a cusser, it depends on how you communicate with your child. Of what they're most of the time they're dysregulated. And if they already know they're guilty, they're dysregulated because they're trying to figure out, how am I going to get in the least amount of trouble? That's what it is. And sometimes we can have good communication and we'll still have this problem. You can just be like, hey, Sally, come here for a second. And they have been, and when they come in the room, they see an empty goldfish pack that they've been hiding in their book bag or in their room. And all you said was, come here for a second. They see the evidence and now they're freaking out. So even if you ask them in a calm voice, can you explain to me what this is and how did it get in your room? Then they can just start rambling, depending on. It's funny because every time I'm saying something, I'll see some child that I've dealt with and I'll see their reaction. And it's so different amongst every child. That's one thing about motherhood. It's not cookie cutter. So I can tell you about 100 different stories about the same instance, and I would have had to deal with it in 100 different ways, or at least 50 different ways, because every child is not the same. Every child is not the same. Every child doesn't reason the same. Every child doesn't have the background of the next child. Even the children that you raised, that is living in your household, same mom, same dad, same everything. You're gonna have to raise them babies a little different, because they all were created different. They all have different personalities and different levels of understanding, different motivations, or different likes, dislikes, different ways of comprehending. The way I explain one concept to a child may not be the same way I can explain it to their classmate or their sibling. Even twins, they can be of the same age and have the same type of lived experience, but they don't comprehend the same. So you have to explain stuff different, or I will have to explain stuff different. No way makes it wrong or right. It's just different. So let's go back to obedience. So we talked about what obedience was, and we gave examples about how your child is not defiant. Maybe they're just inquisitive. Maybe they are bucking up against authority. Maybe they are, what the old people say, smelling themselves. As you get into teenage years, you start really acting out at sometimes. Some kids do, because they feel like they've grown. They feel like they can do life better than you. I had the same thought with my parents. I felt like I could do life better than them. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know, Mama, you were raised back then. We do stuff different now. And they do. And the concepts and principles are still the same. All right. So just because I did not live exactly how you live, it doesn't mean that I can't understand you. Ooh, that's a bar for the world. Okay. We got so much animosity for different people from different places, and people just be like, treat everybody the same. Don't treat me the same. Treat me how I'm presenting to you, because the way you treat John Brown and the way you treat me is inevitably going to be different. We're from different backgrounds, and I want people to be able to just unite in a way that says, I see your difference and I like it. I want to learn more about it. I want to celebrate you and your differences. I want your differences to help me, enlighten me about things of the world, and that the world is not this little box or this little ball that I've been circling around in my own hometown, my own country, my own little piece of the world. Like, come on. Celebrate the differences in each other. You know, come together and celebrate. Maybe that's the unity that we need. Unity in differences. Everybody's different. We look different. We think different. We behave different. We process differently. We have different life experiences that has molded us in different ways. And if we can open up to the differences in each other, we may not be the same, but we can have empathy, sympathy for that person. Our hearts can grow for that person. If we can understand, I just got the picture of the Grinch. When people understood him, his heart grew. His intentions to be mean just because he was hurt. But he found somebody that would look at his differences and ask questions and be loving and caring. And he started a relationship through communication that allowed his heart to become softened and big, and his behaviors changed. Now that was a whole tangent, but y'all can handle tangents, can't ya? Yes, you can. Ooh, child. Anyway, have grace for your children. Have grace for your children and their obedience. Celebrate that. And their disobedience. When their disobedience comes, you're going to need more grace, more patience. But don't overlook when they are obedient. Especially when you're not looking. When they bring about obedience when you're not looking, let's celebrate that. And it's not trying to have like a gifting award accomplishment type parenting, but it's like words of affirmation. I see you. I see you in your greatness. Thank you for being you, and thank you for listening to mommy and doing what mommy asked you to do. Thank you for that. Because the simple fact of the matter is we can turn this back around, and we're going to do it right now. How much are you being obedient when you don't have an audience? Ooh, I'm just going to talk to myself for a while. God has asked me to do some things. And by God, I don't mean like a burning bush situation. Come on. We'll talk about that later. But I know there are assignments that I'm supposed to be doing. And there are things that And unfortunately, I've been disobedient for months now. I can probably almost say years. Yeah. Maybe, but specifically months now. There was a journal entry, and I journal my prayers so that I stay focused in prayer. Because if not, I think I got a little touch. Nobody ever told me like clinically diagnosed, but I have a little bit of attention deficit disorder. So I don't think I have the H part, but I can go off on a tangent like you guys have seen. Sometimes it's hard to stay focused. Sometimes it's easy to stay focused. I got ADD as a type A personality. Like I have lists. I have things that I'm supposed to be doing. But as I get older, I don't know if I'm just more creative. I don't know if my attention span has gotten shorter. I don't know. But I don't follow my plans in my to-do list as I used to. And maybe that's just a little piece of healing. Where I'm getting out of my performative way of living and just living as me, as my authentic self. And that doesn't look like I'm always on. Doug Fresh, you're on. On. My life should be a musical. I'm not editing this, y'all. Y'all gonna get it all bullet. That's what one of my friends' baby used to say. But yeah, so now I've been disobedient to God. He sees all, he knows all. So I've been disobedient in his face. I don't shrug it off because I'm nonchalant. I'm just telling you what it is. It's the truth. Am I proud about it? Absolutely not. I have a relationship with the Lord, with God. When I say God, I'm talking about King of Kings, the only true living God, the God of Moses, David, all the people in the Bible, Father of Jesus, King of the world, of heaven. So anyway, that's who I'm talking about. So we got that straight. We know what I'm talking about. So he gave me an assignment to do. Very, very, very simple. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's very simple. And because it's been so simple, I have procrastinated on doing it because I've been in a busy culture that I created for myself. I'm not influenced by the world, honestly. I've always been my own person. I haven't been like, oh my gosh, they're doing this, so I gotta do that. No. Most of the time they're doing that, so I'm gonna do something different. That's usually how I say it. Even if it's working for everybody, I'm like, I don't want to do it that way. So it's so simple. It is so simple. It's not a thing of the past. It is so simple, and I'm so used to being busy, and I built this busy culture for me. Okay, that's where I was. And I built this busy culture for myself, and I've been in a world of accomplishment and reward. So I'm always looking to accomplish something. But the funny thing is as I grew older, I had it, as I've gotten older, I've not really stopped for the celebratory part. I always push myself to the next thing without celebrating the thing that I had. Weird, I know. But however, I always wanted to be performing. I always had to be doing something. And I'm getting out of that. And the season of life that I'm in now, God has assigned me to one thing. And he's just like, just chill out, do some hobbies, go out, do some artsy stuff. I love working with my hands, as far as I don't like getting my hands dirty. So I can garden, but somebody got to come in and take care of the bugs for me. And I got to wear cute gloves. So gardening may be my thing in the spring. Who knows? Maybe the Dollar Tree have their garden. They do have the garden stuff out. I should check and see if they got gardening gloves. But I'm a crafty girl. But in my time recently, everything I've been doing, or everything that I think about, I attach a monetary value to it. How can this make me money? Because I haven't worked full time, good Lord, in a very long time. 8 years, maybe 6 to 8 years. I haven't had a full-time job. And the full-time job that I had was easy peasy, pumpkin squeezy. It was amazing. Because I was in my field of expertise, in the thing that made me excited. No, in the thing that was growing me, and now I'm excited about it. I worked with single moms, but I worked with, she's now one of my best friends. I worked with a wonderful woman that was teaching me every day about myself and about others. How to view others, how to think or look beyond what they're saying, how to put what they're saying and what they're doing against each other, and not to find fault, but to see where they are, where their gaps are, where they're not being fulfilled. Looking at their behaviors, and then looking beyond that to see the why, like we were talking about earlier, the reason for the behavior. So she really taught me that, and she gave me like a love for therapy and counseling. Anyway, so that job didn't feel like a job until you got into the bureaucracy of all the things. So anyway, for another day. But anyway, so I haven't had a job, but I've been working on my businesses. So everything, oh, that's where I was going with that. I haven't had a job in a 6 years. So a full-time W-2 job. I've been working on my businesses full-time. And anything that I think about, any idea, anything that I see, I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can start that business. I can do that as a business. And I started, and it's phenomenal. I got domains. I learned how to build websites. I learned how to start social media platforms. But it's the follow through that kept falling through. Very good at starting a business. I know how to get your LLC up and running. I'm learning how to get that C Corp up and running. I'll let y'all know about that soon. I know how to get your nonprofit up and running. I know the back end, the paperwork of all the things. But once I get it up and running, I'm not a salesperson. I'm somebody that shares, right? So I just want to tell the people all the good things. And then I'll share it with you if I'm excited about it. But I learned that I wasn't excited about any of that because I never shared it. So either I didn't allow myself to be excited because I completed it and now I'm on to the next thing. And I think that's the biggest part of it. It's like I accomplished it and now I'm on to the next thing. So I couldn't be excited about the thing that I just accomplished because now there's more things to do. There's more things to accomplish. So shoot, that was a learning moment right now in real time. I say all that to say, I've been in money-making grind mode for years. And the fact that God told me to do this one thing and chill out. So to follow that instruction, you want me to do what now? You want me just to do this one thing that's going to take me probably 1 to 2, 3 hours out of a day. And then you want me to do hobbies and rest and what? Oh my gosh. I feel so uncomfortable in that. I feel so uncomfortable in that I just became stuck or paralyzed, right? So I ended up doing nothing, right? I've been doing nothing. I can't even say I'm doing the bare minimum of my assignment. You know how when you tell your kids to clean up their room and they clean up the floor or they make their bed and they think they're done or they put everything in the closet and in the bed. I wasn't even doing that bare minimum stuff. I was doing nothing. It was the equivalent of God telling me to clean my room and God comes in the room and I'm playing games on my phone. Nothing is clean. That's equivalent to what I've been doing. Because I didn't know. Oh, that's a lie. I was already say I didn't know where to start, but that's untruth. That's a tell a story. That's how I say it's a tell a story. I didn't know where to start. I just didn't start. Because I couldn't see the reward in it fast enough. I don't even know if there's going to be a reward in it at all. The reward is obedience. Does there even have to be a reward? Can I just do it out of love? Can your children just obey out of love? If they feel that love is being given to them and that you ask them to do a task, don't you just want them to obey out of love? You don't want to answer the questions all the time. Can you just go do it? You've been answering questions all day. So sometimes you just want to go wash the dishes. Yes, mama. That's all you want. And for your dishes to be clean, that's all God wants. He just wants us to go do the assignment. And then the assignment be done and we can move on to another assignment. He wants us to build his kingdom. The kingdom of heaven, we were given the task to make earth look like heaven. He expanded his kingdom on earth. That's why we're here. He just wants us to say yes, sir, and go do it. I'm getting annoyed with myself at this moment. And I don't know. So even in that was my self-talk to myself. Just do it out of the love that I have of God. I don't care if it looks stupid. I don't care what people say. Think about it. Who are they? Who is anybody for me to care over pleasing and showing love to God? Why should I care what anybody thinks? Why should I care if the numbers follow? Why should I care if it's scalable at this point? Why should I shouldn't. I should not. I should not. I shouldn't. And I'm not. I'm changing. I'm fidgeting now because it's making me a little nervous into seeing, as your child, as you are talking to your child and they are feeling convicted and they start fidgeting. That's what's happening right now. So anyway, and trying to hold back tears. So anyway, being obedient. That's the whole point. Being the obedience when no one is watching. We want it from our kids. And if you love God, if you want to be, nobody wants to be that. I was going to say if you want to be submitted to his authority. I kind of do because I'm tired. So if somebody can just tell me what to do and I do it, then that'd be great. I'm tired. I have decision fatigue. So yes, I want to be submissive to his authority. Just give me the instruction. I'm gonna do it because I am tired, and I'm just gonna do the instructions. I'm gonna follow them. It may be wrong, it may be right, but I feel like as long as I'm following the instructions, it's righteous, right? So it may not be good to the outside looker inner, but it's righteous. It's the right thing in God's eyes. And then all things work together for the good. It may not be good, but it'll work together for the good. So I say all that to say, obedience sometimes is so simple and we make it hard. And it doesn't have to be. Just do it. Just do it. From a heart of love, appreciation, gratitude, kingdom citizenship, which we'll talk more about that later. Just do it. Like you just want your children to just do it. So whatever God is deciding for you to do, just do it. Just obey. And I say just, and a lot of people say, it was hard. It's going to be hard. When I say just, take the first step. That's all I want you to do. That's all God wants you to do. He's a lamp into your feet. And when I think about that scripture, he's a lamp into my feet and a light into my path. You're not going to know everything at first, but that first step, he's going to show you. He's a lamp into your feet. A lamp back in the Bible days was not that bright. Little piece of fire, a little lantern. Think about that. And it's not that bright. Ooh-wee. It's bright enough in the darkest of the dark. It's bright enough for you to trust your next step with him lighting the way. But you may not see the whole entire journey. You're not going to see the whole entire journey because if you're anything like me, if I was to see the whole entire journey, I would try to conjure up the process to get to that journey. Or I wouldn't like the process to get to that journey or through that journey, not to that journey. But I would do what I thought was right to get through the journey. And maybe that's not the path that God wants me to go. So if he showed me the whole path of the journey, I would probably mess it up. I know I would mess it up. I'm a recovering control addict. So that would be very tempting for me. And I would totally mess it up. So he shows me one step at a time, and he'll show you one step at a time. So it's all about being obedient, taking that first step. We can do that together, right? If you can do that, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. And just comment first steps together. We got this. In a world full of chaos, always focus on the good. Thank you so much for watching. It's me, El Marie, the It Girl. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. like, it's me, El Marie, and I just love sharing what I'm learning, what I'm growing in my garden with other people, hoping that it can fertilize, it can water, it can plant something in your garden as well to grow into something beautiful beyond our lifetime. All right. If you like what you like, if you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you think you can rock with me, go ahead and subscribe. But until else, words are hard. Until next time, toodles.